Welcome to podcast YY Japan. Yay! So, my name is Meshida. I'm a comedian and I'm the host. And
my name's Lai. I'm from New Zealand. We could say wannabe comedian. And I'm just helping out.
You are not comedian?
I don't know.
No, it's because it's easy. If you say I'm a comedian, you're a comedian.
Okay, I'm a comedian, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, all-round amazing person.
Okay, and you're my co-host?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And Lai-chan, today's theme is your favorite theme. Yeah, so can you say that?
We're going to talk about host clubs.
Yay! Not hostess, host club.
Yes.
So, Lai-chan, can you introduce what is the host club?
So if you've already seen the video on hostess clubs, it's probably very similar, but this is that it's usually attractive men dressed up and serving women who come as customers. So sort of like the reverse.
Yeah, because recently some Western media reported host club because it's a very unique culture. I think abroad, host club is not exist.
Yeah, I don't know about Asia. I think overseas the closest you'd probably get is like escorts, maybe. I don't think they have the same sort of club as such that you would go to.
And when you were young, I know you're still young, but when you were young, so you said you often went to host clubs. So why did you go there?
I was living in Japan alone, and once you get used to the idea of paying for company, it's very easy because they're good at conversation, they're fun, they can do drinking calls, and they're attractive. So it's sort of, instead of hanging out alone at a bar and feeling awkward, if you pay to enter, you know someone will talk to you and you know you'll have fun.
Okay, you have the same mind with the Japanese salaryman.
This is where I'm meant to be.
I'm alone, but if you pay, they treat it us as like a king. Host club, it's like a queen. You are the queen. But you said first you came here, like I came to Japan because you love visual K-pop.
Yeah. So the look's very similar.
I know.
You get the big hair and so like with visual K bands, I never really hung back to see the band or anything because I like the image of them. I don't want to know what they're really like because a lot of them, like I worked with someone who was in a visual K band and he's like, I have a girlfriend in each city, so I never have to stay in a hotel. So I was like, I don't want to know what my favorite bands are like. But host clubs, like I already know that they're going to be charai, like
you accept it, you enjoy it as a queen.
You know they're like
pay the queen.
Fine. It's not gonna ruin my image of them. So it was sort of easier to go to.
Oh my god, I think Lai-chan, you are like a Japanese man because usually Japanese man, some Japanese man love idol in idol group, but they believe idol never dated with someone. They don't want to know their private. Yeah. Same. Then
I just
they go to hostesses and then.
See, if I were the other gender, Japan would be perfect for me. Yeah. If I were male, it would be wonderful. Just get rid of all the sexism and
but we have a host club and you enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then why? So did you like it? Still, I know you like it, but you have a handsome boyfriend now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if I go to karaoke with my boyfriend, he usually gets tired and falls asleep at about 3 o'clock.
Of course, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not like 21, 22, Lai-chan. We are already 32. You are 33.
You remembered that, huh?
Anyway, you changed your appearance.
Yeah, do I look younger?
Yeah, you look like more foreigners because you have brown hair. Yeah. You always say, oh, you know, I have been here like almost 10 years, but always Japanese people treated me as a foreigner, even I can speak Japanese, but you change your hair color like that.
Yeah.
All Japanese people treated you as a foreigner. So, again.
If they're going to treat me like a foreigner anyway, I may as well get a cool hair color out of it. It's a silver lining.
Okay. So anyway, my image, because sometimes YouTube or TV shows, they made documentary for the host club. Usually my image, women order champagne tower, like you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's super expensive, and they're like, yeah. And you spent a lot of money when before.
Not usually tons. Okay. I tended to go to places and go for like 1 or 2 hours and just spend like 6,000 yen a night.
Oh, not so expensive.
Up to Ichiman maybe.
Yeah, same as like a kind of kyabakura or hostess.
Yeah, so I usually went more in Osaka, and Osaka's slightly different to Tokyo as well. So
I think in Tokyo, Kabukicho and Osaka is Namba. It's famous for host club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went in Namba mostly. And I think here, like, the kind of place I went to in Osaka, here would be called, like, men's kyaba, I think.
Really?
And it's like, you pay to go per hour.
It depends on hour. 1 hour.
Whereas the host clubs here, it tends to be like, you've got your shokai for 1 hour, and then the rest is like free time until 1 in the morning. Whereas Osaka, they didn't close at 1 in the morning. So I often went at like 3 when I was getting tired, and it was like 3 to 4 to 5 or something, and then go home and sleep. But here they're closed from like 1 to I think 5 in the morning. They've got this sort of like different times that you can go as well. So from 1 until about 5 in the morning they're closed. So it makes it very hard in Tokyo to go after going out drinking with friends. Like you have to either be awake at like 5 or 6 in the morning and go from then. So I used to go to, in Osaka, what would be called men's kyaba, and it was just like 1 or 2 hours. And so I used to go much more on just kind of like a, hey, I want to come today just for 2 hours. I have ichiman. And the guy, my host, would just be kind of like, ryokai, and then just make sure I didn't go over that.
Okay. So host adjust like the cost. Like
like
1万円, like
you can
10,000 yen.
ask for drinks up to this price, but then over that, you know, like, that's the kind of place I went back to a lot because he would do that for me. So it was sort of, I found a host who was willing to be like, the fact you come enough is more important than paying tons. Whereas other places would try and get you to pay tons at once, but then I just never go back because that felt kind of forced. So I sort of usually just kept going to places where my host was kind of much more the like, okay, that's fine, you know.
Interesting system. How hosts get bonus or it's totally different between Tokyo and Kabukicho and Namba. You say so? You mean so?
I think, I'm not sure. I don't know much about Kabukicho hosts. I've like been to a few, but I tended to go more just for like the shokai 1 hour.
Shokai 1 hour.
Honestly, super way to cheap way to drink. You go for 1 hour and it's like 1000 yen.
1,000 yen?
Yeah, nomi hodai.
And then many hosts?
So usually every 10 minutes they'll change so that you can meet tons of them. And then if you're like, I like this guy, that's the guy you exchange Renrakuseki with, and he'll take you to the door. Exchange contact details with, and he's the one who'll do miyokuri, which is like taking you to the door to say goodbye.
Okay, then he contact you. Please come, let's drink. Okay.
Whereas in Osaka, I found some places would actually, when you went in, bring you a host book.
Host book?
And it had all their pictures, and you could say who you liked. And that's the person who would be at your table at first.
Like, in the entrance?
Yeah, like when I came in, I sat down, and they were like, these are the hosts, and some of them had an iPad, and you scrolled through.
It's kind of like the same as Japanese brothels. Entrance, you can choose.
Yeah, and
you have to pay shimeiryo, like designation fee.
If it's just the first 1 hour, not necessarily, because it depends on the club. So this is why it's really only better to go if you speak Japanese, because often, like some places, depending on the 1 hour first place, the first 1 hour. Some places it's like you and the host drink for free. Some places it's like you drink for free but you pay for the host. Others it's like you've got one bottle that you can drink from, but anything over that you pay separately. So you really need to check up front. But with the host book, I just remember going through and being like, he's kind of cute. And they were like, oh, that's him. And I was like, wait, really?
Usually
it's entirely
Photoshop,
different. It was like photo studio, really cool hair, and then he's like over there completely drunk, red-faced, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, keep going. So it was an interesting experience though.
You enjoyed talking with them? drink with
Yeah,
them?
drinking.
Both? Drinking.
Yeah, drinking.
So, and then they treated you as like a queen. Oh, you're so beautiful or something like that? You really like it?
Depends on the person. I tend to find places that do that. I find it kind of annoying because it feels like they're trying to be like pretending they're your boyfriend or whatever. And I don't really like that. You
don't really like it?
No, because I like places that it's fun to talk with them and it's fun to drink with them. So I like people who know a lot of drinking songs and who would be like, when I'd finished my drink, obviously they make you another drink, but I like the people who are like, okay, next one, you can drink more, right? Instead of being like,
then like
don't drink too
start
much.
singing, drink. So it's like, okay, I understand.
I like Nomi calls, so I know a lot of them. And so when I go out drinking with my friends, if you're the only one that knows them, you ended up being the whole like, kanpai shitara,
because
and it's always you.
In Japan, actually, there are many drinking songs, especially like when we were university students. We really enjoy drinking calls, and I know. But now I'm really kind of miss it because I'm already 30. Usually, like over 30, we don't usually do it.
I'm actually, sounds really embarrassing, but I'm actually getting to the point of I might make really, really weak, like shochu juice. Just so I can do drinking songs with my friends. Because I don't want to get drunk anymore. I don't want to lose my memory, because my memory goes when I drink too much.
Because when you drank a lot, you are kind of like completely kind of idiot.
I don't think you've ever seen me that drunk.
No, because after comedy show, sometimes you...
Not super drunk though.
But because always you invite your friends at the time. I just ignore you. Bye-bye, like I see you.
My friends are good at getting me But but like I want to do the drinking song part. I really miss that.
Yeah, I remember, I really enjoyed it too. Yeah. But now, I think sometimes miss it.
Yeah, and that's why I like host clubs, because they do drinking songs still. So it's also why I like boys bars, girls bars, those kind of, it's that drinking culture. Whereas when you go with friends, like no one knows the songs and everyone's just kind of like, oh, I'll just have a sip. That's fine. And I'm like, I miss the drinking.
Yeah, maybe. And now I think we have a lot of YouTube hosts enjoy drinking call. Maybe in your house, now we are under this situation, corona pandemic, you just getting drunk in your house and then drink.
How sad would that be? Start playing YouTube and just being
you said before. You said before, now you enjoy karaoke in your house.
Yeah.
Without the mic.
Yep.
Because of this pandemic. Yeah, it's the same. You just turn on YouTube and then host, like and drink. It's free and cheap if you bought
making my life sound very
like
sad.
a convenience store. It's very cheap. Yeah. You should do that. Yeah, actually.
Oh God, that is a depressing image.
But what kind of women go to host? It's okay, your perspective. I know many kinds, but basically.
I mean, this is probably also just because it's the only people I've been with. But usually my friends who go work as hostesses. And so you get sort of the two types of hostess. The ones who are really, really intelligent and they're hostessing to like fund university. So they're like, I'll work as a hostess, I'll get money, I'll pay to go to university, And then you get the people who do it sort of more for fun. So they work until about usually 2 or 3 in the morning. And then when you finish work, you're sick of sitting there smiling as old men talk to you. So you go to a host club so that you can say, do this, do that. And they have to sit there and say like, okay. So it's sort of after work, you get rid of your stress at a host club.
Yeah, I understand.
It's very common.
Usually they treat stupid man as a king. Oh, you're so handsome. Oh, but in your side, like the other side, oh, this man smells so bad. Oh shit.
I need more alcohol to sit next to you.
Yeah. Then after working there, go to host club and enjoy.
Yeah, that's really common. And also occasionally, not anyone I know, but I have seen like women sort of in more like their 40s go. And I think it's usually like there was one woman who actually came to my supper club as well. And it was sort of like she had a lot of income from her ex-husband. She had a good job, I think, as well. And she had a child. So I think she was busy with children, busy with work. But then if she went out drinking on a Saturday night, it was like, I have the money. I just want someone to make sure I have fun.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
I saw that as well a bit.
So, but I read some article, some women, so like a hostess women, after working, they go to the host club and enjoy drinking and spend a lot of money, and they have to pay it. That's why they change their career from hostesses to prostitutes. I mean, so host club produce Japanese prostitutes. Some point.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of hosts are also, obviously because they do night work. People who do night work, it doesn't bother them as much. So they're usually just like, you'd get more money if you worked as a prostitute, like very, casual. But yeah, there is that as well, that it's usually when a lot of Japanese women tend to get very like, hitomibore deshitakke? Like, fall in love just with one person. And so then this host, he wants me to come again. I have to go to support him. I need to pay even more money. And so like, if you don't get like that and you just go to host clubs for fun, it's different. But it can be, it's sort of if you believe what they're telling you. So if they're like,
it's very
but
pure,
I really want to see you again. And then women, especially women, tend to get very like, I need to earn money to give to him.
She devoted or sacrificed herself to the host because she believed what he said. Yeah, and I understand because when I went to the hostesses, sometimes I was like, and I say, I believe you.
At the beginning at host clubs, you sort of like tend to believe it. You're like, oh, but maybe. And then after a while, you're just kind of like, they're like, oh, but if I were your boyfriend, and you're just like, no, keep drinking. You get very used to just like, no, I'm here to drink. I don't want to hear that. But yeah, it is easy at first, especially when they're really attractive.
But for example, one of my friends, he met his wife in a Kyabakura, a hostess, because he went there with his boss, and he met her, and he fell in love with her, and he asked her to go to date, and then they started dating, and then now they got married. Sometimes lucky men ask hostesses to go to date, and then have a relationship. I mean, like dating.
I mean, also probably as a hostess, like there would be less attractive customers. So mostly the customers would be old men, and then you have like one younger guy. Whereas if you go to a host club, a lot of the customers are attractive females. So there's also kind of like, I mean, I suppose as a hostess probably, you would seem like a good option. If you were like ridiculously attractive or like just the host type, maybe. I mean, obviously
but
you get
on.
But
problem is like usually young man, even though he looks so good, I think they don't have money. Usually boss takes them to the hostesses, and the boss, older men have money. But young men look so good, but usually they don't have money compared to old men. Which you choose,
Usually the mama-san will tell you though, you have to pay more attention to the boss and the manager because they're the ones paying. You can't spend too much time talking to like pointless customers.
I was always pointless customers.
But it is possible. Obviously, people meet people everywhere.
Because you proved it's possible because you could date with
my ex was a host. Actually, two of my exes.
Two of your ex, but your current boyfriend is not.
No. Kind of. He's got sort of the Johnny's type look though. The cutesy.
Yeah, he's good. He's very looking good.
Yeah,
cute guy.
I've dressed him up as a host once for my birthday. I was like, "You're gonna go get your hair done."
But
it does happen. But then there's also like, I mean, for me it was probably as well like they're unlikely to be dating me for my money because I didn't have any money because I was really broke.
So before.
Yeah.
I mean, when you met him.
Yeah. So it was unlikely that any of my exes were like dating me for money. So that makes it easier. But in general, I also go by like, how often do they expect you to go to the host club? Or are they willing to quit working to date you? Because it's very easy for them to say like, no, I'll date you, but you have to come see me, because a lot of this kind of night work is actually still seeing people on your day off or like before work or so if you want to see if they're really wanting to date you or not, you sort of eventually have to get to the point where you're like, are you going to quit work? Or, if I never come to your host club, will you still spend time with me? That kind of thing.
But in your case, while you were dating with host, they are still working.
Yeah. But then I also, at the time, I used to go out drinking with a friend a lot. And she also liked host clubs. So I still went to host clubs as well.
Wow.
So we were both just kind of like...
Okay, you guys are cheated each other. It's okay. Just for fun.
A host club isn't cheating.
Yeah. I think so. But many foreign, especially Western people, don't think so. Because, Japanese, they always complain about Japanese men go to hostesses. Oh my God, it's cheating.
It's true.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
You always say that. That's
true. I don't want my boyfriend to go, but I want to go to host clubs.
For me, that's a typical Western women, No, but you enjoy.
Yeah, I don't want him to go, but I mean, that said though, there's also a difference between going by yourself and going with a group of friends.
Yeah.
Like if all your friends are going, it's kind of just like, whereas if you're going by yourself, it's like, who are you going to meet? Like, for me, I just want the nomi quarter. So I'm also like, if you want to learn nomi quarter, that's fine. I don't think he does.
Why? I mean, in Japan, I think host club is like kind of like a very niche, but it's a kind of big market. There are many hosts because recently, for example, Laurent, famous YouTuber, he's from like a host.
Yeah.
So what is the difference like between Japanese women and Western women? Because why some Japanese women like to... You are not Japanese woman, but your mind is like a kind of Japanese,
Overseas, you really don't pay for company.
Pay for company?
Yeah. So like in Japan, you also have like rentaru kareshi or like rental boyfriend, where you pay someone to go on a date with you for the day. Whereas overseas, like we have an escort service, but it's usually much more image of like Hollywood or like someone needs a date for a very formal party. It's not really seen as a good thing. Like you should have friends and people to hang out with. Paying for company isn't really a good thing. Whereas when you get used to it, it's kind of just like, I mean, I'm paying because they know how to make conversation and, entertain. So you're paying for entertainment, really. But I don't think it's seen like that. Like at the beginning, it was really awkward for me too, because I was like, I feel really bad paying someone to talk to me. This is just strange. But I don't know. I got over it. I got used to it.
If some foreign women who want to kind of go to host club, are there any good one? Like for foreign women to go? Like
not
just
that
for
I
fun?
know of. I mean, I have a friend who speaks English as a host, but yeah. Like, if I usually tend to go, by when I go to Kabukicho, you know how there's all the scouts on the street? And I just say I'm looking for like a host club for the Shokai Ichijikan. And then usually say like, nomi nomase, like both drinking, about 1,200 yen. And then they'll usually have suggestions. And just be like, this place you can go, but the host drinks are separate. This place you can go, but it's only shochu. And then I just sort of decide which one I want to go to. I've never tried in English. I've never had them say no because I'm a foreigner. But every time on the phone, the scout does say like, she's a foreigner, but she speaks Japanese. And it's been okay. So I don't know whether it would be different if I didn't speak Japanese.
Yeah, because we have a very specific rules. Japanese people can understand, We can do that. If we do this, it's super expensive.
Yeah.
But foreigners don't know. If they go there, maybe they spend a lot of money and they say, oh my God, it's a bottaguri. How can I say bottaguri in English?
Like it's a scam or sending up the prices.
Yeah.
In the future, when I get back to Japan, I'm thinking of starting a tour that goes around like hosts boys bars in Kabukicho. So then if you do want to go, I suggest go with a tour or someone who knows the place. So in the future, if anyone wants to, I might be doing something. But
I think it's super expensive, you know. Please contact me.
I'll see how much money you can get off everyone.
Cheap way. You're my competitor now.
Mine will be high class and with me dressed up in makeup. If you go with him, you have to hang out.
No, because 2 years you go back to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Well, these 2 years, maybe I give up being comedians. I focus on doing night business.
Tours?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I have lots of
you'll be
places,
in Kabukicho with all these hosts. You have to do the whole hair thing.
Anyway, thank you very much for sharing your experience.
Yes.
I know some shameful past.
Yes. Oh, don't tell anyone.
So anyway, thank you.
Okay.
Do you have any joke about host club? No?
No.
Okay, next time.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you soon.